You have reached the bottom. Every plan you made has crumbled. Every effort you poured out has returned empty. Every hope you clung to feels shattered, leaving only despair pressing down on your soul. If you do not surrender now, if you try to rise alone, despair will steal more than today. It will steal tomorrow. It will steal your strength, your clarity, your peace. Moses knew this place. The pit is not only dark, it is deafening, isolating, and suffocating. You feel abandoned, unseen, and misunderstood, even as the world expects you to remain strong. Fear whispers that there is no way forward, that recovery is impossible. But listen, there is a hand that has never left your side, a presence that does not sleep. Psalms 40 and 23 reveal the path from collapse to divine turnaround. They teach that even in the pit, even when all seems lost, God is orchestrating your restoration, preparing the steps you cannot yet see, and turning your weakness into the foundation for victory. Your rock bottom is not the end, it is the beginning of transformation. Today, you are invited to witness the shift, to align your heart with divine timing, and to allow surrender to open the door for a turnaround you have not dared to imagine. The valley you are in is the proving ground for courage, faith, and unstoppable restoration. When despair feels permanent. Despair is not just a feeling, it is a weight that presses on the spirit, twisting hope into fear. Moses knew this weight in moments when every plan failed and every effort seemed futile. The pit is cold, dark, and relentless. You stand at the edge, feeling the ground give way beneath your feet, and the noise of life, the expectations, the judgments, the demands, only deepens the pressure. It whispers that nothing you do matters, that your strength is gone, and that every attempt to rise will meet only more failure. In these moments, fear becomes a constant companion. Anxiety creeps into every thought. Even your memories, your past victories, seem hollow. You wonder if surrendering is the only option, and yet the idea of letting go terrifies you. If I stop now, will everything collapse? Am I doomed to remain here forever? This question echoes in your mind, heightening the urgency, making the moment unbearable, yet making it impossible to ignore the need for intervention. Moses illustrates a truth too many avoid. Despair is not a signal to continue fighting in your own strength. It is a divine alarm. Every failure, every collapse, every moment when you cannot see the way is an invitation to stop depending on yourself and to reach beyond what you know. The pit exposes the illusion of control. It strips away the pride of independence. It forces a confrontation with reality. Human effort is not enough. Yet in this exposure lies the first spark of hope. Even at your lowest, there is a presence that observes, that waits, and that will act when surrender meets intention. This is the turning point, the moment you recognize that reaching your limit is not the end, but the signal for divine intervention. Moses stood in such moments, and through them, he discovered that true stability comes not from what he could do, but from what God would do through him. The pit reveals what needs God. The pit is never empty. It is full of revelation. Moses learned that collapse exposes what cannot be carried by human strength. When you hit rock bottom, the false securities you relied upon, your plans, your strategies, your control, are stripped away. You discover that every effort without divine guidance leaves you vulnerable, exposed to further setbacks, unseen forces, and internal chaos. Psalm 40 reveals the divine principle at work. The pit is not punishment, it is preparation. Each struggle, each setback, each delay that breaks your spirit is the soil from which God cultivates new life, new clarity, and new opportunity. Moses knew the sting of waiting, of seeing nothing change despite every action taken. The silence is heavy, the pressure intense, yet in that very silence God's presence hovers, unseen but active, ready to lift, restore, and reposition the one who finally ceases to rely on their own strength. This is the moment of alignment. The pit forces confrontation with reality. You cannot restore what only God can restore. The things that were hidden, unseen strengths, divine strategies, spiritual resources, become visible only when human effort fails. Here, the scarcity of reliance on self becomes obvious, and the fear of missing divine timing heightens urgency. You realize that this struggle is not permanent. The pit is a training ground, a place to shed the illusions of independence and to embrace dependence on God's plan. Every moment of vulnerability is also a spiritual checkpoint. Moses, stripped of pride and forced to look upward, teaches that the pit is the proving ground for faith. When you surrender in the pit, you discover that God's intervention is not random. It is perfectly timed, calibrated for your restoration, your elevation, and your ultimate turnaround. The mud, the darkness, the weight, all become instruments to reveal the dependence your soul must have on Him. Crying out becomes power. Desperation is not weakness. It is the lever that unlocks divine intervention. Moses demonstrates that when human effort reaches its limit, honest, unrestrained cries to God carry authority beyond strategy, beyond planning, beyond human understanding. Psalm 40 shows that the voice raised in surrender, raw and unfiltered, pierces the heavens and aligns earthly circumstances with divine will. At this point, every fear, every failure, every misstep becomes fuel for your spiritual authority. Your cries are not just prayers, they are declarations that open doors for breakthrough. The valley, the pit, the collapse, all of it becomes the arena where surrender transforms into power. Moses' example teaches that true strength emerges not from control, but from complete dependence, not from knowing the outcome, but from faithfully declaring truth in the face of despair. Here lies the first call to action. Write a prophetic phrase, declaring surrender and alignment with God. It is a spiritual activation, a tangible step in claiming the authority God offers in the midst of collapse. Scarcity is the force that amplifies this moment. Few dare to fully expose their weakness. Fear keeps many trapped in half-hearted attempts, but those who fully surrender unlock divine momentum. This is the turning point, when crying out becomes a tool for transformation, not just a release of pain. Each honest word resonates in heaven, orchestrates unseen intervention, and initiates the final turnaround that the pit had prepared you for. What was once the depth of despair becomes the launchpad for restoration, provision, and victory. Divine intervention changes the course. The moment human effort fails, divine power rises. Moses stands as a testament to the truth that God moves when we have nothing left to offer. Psalm 23 and 40 converge here, revealing that even when the valley seems endless, the shepherd is present, guiding each step, shielding from hidden attacks, and turning apparent defeat into opportunity. Intervention is often silent. The pit that once seemed insurmountable begins to shift. The obstacles, delays, and setbacks that pressed your soul start collapsing, not by chance, but by divine orchestration. Moses' journey teaches that God's restoration does not always arrive with fanfare. It begins quietly, imperceptibly, until suddenly the landscape of your life is transformed. This is the point where fear dissolves into awe. What once threatened to consume you now becomes proof of protection. The chaos you endured becomes the evidence of God's unseen hand. Psalm 23 assures that even walking through darkness, you are guided, your steps are guarded, and no enemy's scheme can prevail against divine strategy. Here, the second call to action is introduced. Like and subscribe. Engaging with this message is more than interaction. It is helping spread God's truth and protection to others facing unseen valleys. ensuring that this spiritual activation reaches those who desperately need guidance. Relief and hope begin to take root. The despair that once threatened total collapse is replaced by confidence, clarity, and anticipation. You begin to recognize that the pit was not an endpoint, but the foundation for your divine turnaround. From collapse to anchored victory. The pit, the valley, the collapse, all of it now becomes the foundation for a life restored and anchored in God. Moses stands renewed, no longer defined by failure or fear, but by divine purpose and restored identity. Psalms 23 and 40 culminate here, revealing that the turnaround is complete. What once threatened to destroy now confirms victory, provision, and guidance. You are no longer surviving. You are thriving under God's watchful eye. Every step forward is fortified by His protection, every decision guided by His wisdom, and every breath a testament to restored faith. The valley that seemed endless is now a passageway leading to opportunity, strength, and divine alignment. What was once despair now becomes testimony. This final chapter emphasizes full spiritual restoration. Shame, fear, and doubt are replaced with peace, clarity, and confidence. The power of surrender, the effectiveness of honest prayer, and the assurance of divine intervention converge to anchor the soul in unshakable victory. Your journey through collapse has transformed into a story of triumph. Mandatory ending, emotional closure, invitation to pray the Lord's Prayer. Transition from despair to confident, anchored peace, establishing a spiritual and emotional foundation that endures beyond temporary trials. This concludes the 5-topic sequence for Moses and Psalms 40 and 23, from rock bottom to the final turnaround.